Hello, people. How are you? Hello, Enes. How are you, man?
Hello, I'm good. You?
So far, so good. It has been a long
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
long time no see.
Yeah, and we are still alive. How have you
Yeah,
been? Are you in Istanbul?
uh, yeah. I'm studying my lessons.
Yeah.
This year is my college exam years.
Okay, okay.
I see.
Uh, that's why I'm studying very well so
Hope,
hard.
hopefully. Yeah, I mean, that is amazing to hear
Okay,
that
pero ponme pantalla.
as one of the our former students, a lovely student. That is cool.
Mi amor,
I can
silencio.
see Ms. K.A. How can you pronounce your name?
Ka.
Ka, that's it? Ka.
Well, it's short. It's like a nickname, but it's Kari.
Ah, Kari. Okay,
Yeah.
amazing. I think we talked long time ago, but not a lot. Am I right?
Everything is okay. Just we have some problem in my family,
Yeah.
health problem, and my mother-in-law and my dad. But everything is okay. Thanks God. Now everything is okay.
Hopefully. You have a lovely Spanish accent, aren't? I mean, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Cool,
are good,
cool.
recognizing accents. I am from Costa Rica.
Yeah, amazing. Lovely. And I can see
Thank you.
I can see Ms. Venera. How are you doing? Welcome aboard.
Hey there. Still good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a transition between, lower levels and advanced levels. Good to see you here.
Okay.
Fantastic. Obviously, every week we are talking about one specific, where is it? One specific prompt, they call it. I choose this stuff from IELTS writing. And let me share that. And I can see Mr. Mohammad. How are you, man? Long time no see. Welcome aboard. Of course, he is connecting to the audio. Over here, as you can see, my screen at the moment. Let me zoom in a bit. So today's prompt, they call it, is: in most of the countries, people prefer to live in a rented apartment rather than buying a home. What are the advantages and disadvantages of living in rented accommodation? So before starting, I mean, let's just talk about maybe different lifestyles that we might have if we have a home, or if we are renting an apartment or a kind of residential house, let's say. Ladies first, so that maybe Ms. Kari can start this as a sort of very fast intro about that. I mean, and then of course we're going to dive into the question a bit. Yeah. Your microphone is muted. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
You are. Is to me?
Of course.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It is for you first. We start with you.
Okay. In our case, well, I've been married for 12 years, and we rent most of the time, like 8 years. So I think it's now that we are in the other side, that we own our house, I think what we are still paying, we have a mortgage. I think that we have more cost, because in the past we didn't have to pay taxes, we didn't have to pay for water and some other services that we have to pay now. But and we did to pay for maintenance, repairs or things like that. So, but at the end, what we want is just to have our own house, because when we finish our mortgage, yeah, the house is want to be, you know, um,
Preferred.
or yes.
Uh-huh.
So at the end, maybe, I don't know, many years, because the payment or the mortgage is for about 25 years or so.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
we own our house, and we can pass, or I don't know how to say this, or heritage, I don't know,
Yeah,
to
heritage.
yes,
Okay.
to our daughter. So, but the thing is that um, you have to have some, um, you know, sometimes it's really difficult. In our case, was difficult to get the loan, the loan, because
Yeah.
in Costa Rica it's a problem. You have to have it's a lot of requirements, many years working for a company, save some money like the 20% for the cost of your construction, your house. So
Mhm.
now we are grateful because we have our house, but the costs are much more than used to be in
Yeah,
the past.
I see.
Mhm.
It costs a small fortune. Okay, thank you very much. Of course, I said hello to Mr. Mohammed. How are you, man? Long time no see. Are you okay? Yeah, I mean, he's not available at the moment, I think. All right, now let's talk to Ms. Venera about the very question.
Mhm. So, disadvantages of living in a rented accommodation.
Mhm.
One of it, at least, I think, exorbitant price, exorbitant rent.
Yeah.
So not all people can afford it, especially now when we live under lockdown. Many people lost their jobs, so they have to uh, tighten the belt, and can't afford rent and accommodation, an apartment or a room, anything. So advantages, of course, there are advantages if you really can afford it. You have a lucrative job, as I said before. If you can, and if you're financially independent,
Mhm.
of course, this is the only thing. Well, the rest thing is advantage, because if you move out, you have your own apartment, or if you just rent an apartment, doesn't matter. Still, you gain some space, some freedom. So all positive
Thanks.
things which go along.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now let's talk to Mr. Enes about the very question.
Hello. I live in a rental house. It's rent 2,000 Turkish lira. You mean I mean it's like about $300.
Yeah.
For advantages, you can move everywhere whenever you want, and actually it's more cheap. It's cheaper than a house,
Yeah.
own a house.
Mhm.
For disadvantages, actually I can't know. Yeah, you can't build. You can't build you can't building in house
Mhm.
because it's not your house. Maybe the owner will not allow you. That's all. And one more. Owner can sell his house, and my owner will sell his house, and I'm looking at a new home now.
Yeah, you have to move out. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
these are disadvantages, as you mentioned. Yeah, thank you very much. Now let's say hello to Mr. Mohammed if he is available. Because of your noisy background, I muted you. If you are available, say hello. If not, hold on a second. Yeah, it's still maybe he's not available. Anyway, let's go back to Ms.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Hello. Sorry. Hello,
That's okay.
everyone. Sorry for the
That's
noise.
okay. That's okay.
I
That's
had some
okay.
problems
It happens.
trying to connect yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
How have you been? Are you okay? Everything is cool?
I'm okay. Thank you. I hope everything is okay with you.
Yeah, hopefully.
and
Yeah,
all
we
the,
still
and all the participants, of course.
yeah, thank you.
Hello,
Thank you very
everyone.
much.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
Can I say something about this topic?
Of course, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, this question is a very important one. So we have in most of the countries, people prefer to live on in a rented apartment rather than buying a home. I think this is a problem of mentality, because if we just compare people from the East and from the West, we'll find that people in the West, if we speak about civilized countries, like, for example, the United States and European countries, I think, this is my point of view, I think that they don't have this spirit of buying a home. Yeah. And
yeah, we lost you for it.
What is the focus of their life? Yeah, because the focus is on enjoying life rather than living and owning a home. And if we go to people in the East, we will find that people have this mentality of buying a home, because psychologically speaking, they are afraid. They think about the future. They think about their children, problems they will have in the future. That's why they say, I will guarantee a shelter for my kids, so that even if I die, I will leave them with a house, and they will not be urged to move from one place to another, so they will settle down. So I think this has to do with the certain of mentality and culture people have while dealing with such issue.
Yeah, amazing statement. Thank you very much. Now let's go back to this, and let me share this over here. I mean, let me just ask a question from this one, out of this question. I mean, what about your countries specifically? I mean, let me ask this way. Let me rephrase that. How is the purchasing power of people in your countries? Are your citizens capable of buying these houses for themselves? I mean, can they afford buying the houses, personal, private houses for themselves? Or it is still a huge challenge for people? Starting with Ms. Kari, go ahead.
Thank you. In Costa Rica is a issue, is a problem, because the thing is that the banks require much from you, that you have to, you need a well-established job, and you have to be a professional, and besides that, you have to save some money, like the 20% of the cost of your house, and then many others requirements. So I can tell you that in our case, my husband, well, I am professional, but I'm not working now, but my husband is engineer, and he was working for a big transnational company, and the banks didn't want to, loan the money.
Yeah.
Because it's like, like bureaucracy here in Costa Rica. So a lot of people don't have the way to get the money to buy a house. And besides, mostly, or we need to, a mortgage. So it's very difficult here, because in our case, it was because my husband saved some money, and he was well paid, but it was really difficult to get the mortgage, the loan. So that is the case here in Costa Rica. It is a social problem,
I see. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same everywhere, but I just wanted to be, sure of that. Now let's talk to Mr. Enes about this very fact. Of course, I live in Turkey. I know it, but I want to hear from your
Yeah, the houses are so expensive in Turkey, you know, especially in Istanbul. You have to take credit from banks, and thus you will be their slaves, their slave for 10 years, and mortgage your future, your
until
your
you
money.
die. Until
Yeah,
you die, you have to pay.
it's like 10 years, 10 years, so many years.
Exactly. That is totally right. Thank you very much. Now let's talk to Ms. Venera about this question. What about Russia? As far as I remember, that you said I am from Russia. And what about the purchasing power of people, Russian citizens? What is the
Purchasing
mentality over
apartments?
there? Yeah, buying a kind of small, I don't care about the length or how big the house is. I mean, can people afford buying any residential place to live in?
Well, again, those people who have who can afford it. Usually people just take out a mortgage
Yeah.
to buy a house, to buy an apartment. Usually that's apartment, but it depends, of course. And usually people start thinking about having their own, living on their own and having their own apartment, a place of living, at around approximately, right, at the age of 30. So at first they have to study, to work, and then they start
To save
thinking
up some
about
money.
settling down. Yeah. So
I see. Yeah, pretty much the same. And of course, I wanted to make sure. And let's talk to Mr. Mohammad about the same. I think, as far as I remember, you were from Egypt, right? If
No,
I'm not
I'm from Morocco.
Morocco. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's-
What about Morocco? I mean, Moroccan situation.
Well, let's first start with something that we have in common when we talk about buying a house, as Enes and Venera and
Ms.
the other participants,
Kari, yeah.
Kari, we agree upon the fact that buying a house is something very expensive, and in Morocco we have the same problem. So if we talk about social issues here, we will divide the society into two categories. We have people who are able to buy houses, and they have many, and another category that suffer to have such house and own it. Because here in Morocco, buying a house is a priority, something very important. If we talk about the journey of life, and when a person wants to get married, you know, one of the main questions we ask someone who wants to get engaged and to get married with a woman, you know, the parents ask this question. First question, very important question, central. Do you have a house? Yeah. And this is, of course, when the one who wants to marry, he should be prepared for that. He should have a house, he should work, have a good job, but he can't afford that because of, you know, poverty and many problems. And as Enes has already stated, the majority here are forced to go to the bank and get credit in order to buy a house. So it's not easy. It's not easy. The standards of living sometimes are against what people wish.
Exactly.
As you have already said, here in Morocco, buying a house is something of paramount importance, but the standards of living, life is very expensive, and we have here this problem of this digital, this divide between rich persons and poor persons. Rich persons get richer and poor persons get poorer, and this problem, of course, we will always have this problem of buying a house. Even if, in my point of view, I think the question of buying a house is not that big question. So if we are able to change how people think, I think the most important thing is to have this idea of settling down, far of making problems and living in difficult situations, because what is more important is the peace of mind rather than the material things like buying a house. Yeah.
That is true. Thank you very much. Obviously, yeah, that is so clear that we want, I mean, there's a saying in English, everybody knows that, home sweet home. Okay, why did they say home sweet home? Because you feel comfortable. This is your, I don't know how to call it, like your comfort zone, your, I mean, the place that you feel safe, your safe house, or whatever you want to call it. So if you say that, okay, I own this house, this is mine. So this is a kind of the center of, as you said, how can I put it into sentences? I mean, when you're alone, or when you want to just be comfortable with yourself or with your family, you can stay there. You can do whatever you want. You can decorate inside it or outside of that. That is totally, you're totally right about that. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, the next question which can be discussed is, let me ask a challenging question. I mean, why in almost every single country or every single society, people are trying to buy a house rather than specifically a big house? First, let's talk about this. I mean, what about Costa Rica? I mean, if people can afford or can buy a house, what is the, I mean, how big the house is? Are people satisfied with smaller ones or medium ones, or the house should be big? What type of mentality your citizens have? Starting with Ms. Kari.
It's a challenging question because I don't know how to answer this, because it depends on the each person. Because here next to us there are there is couple who just married maybe 4 months ago or so, and they built a huge house. So my husband and I, we usually comment between us that how, if they are working most of the time because they just married, how they build huge. It's like 300 meters
300
for two
meters.
people. Yeah, is well, we live in I don't know, condominium or so. I don't know if the word is okay.
Yeah.
And they build a huge house for two. So it is this, well, crazy, because I don't share it that way, because you never you're never going to use the whole, or just to, or so I don't know how to respond this question, because it depends on each one. I think it depends on the level, or how, if you want to show off to anyone else. In our case, I can tell you that my husband and we built a medium house, because I think our house is a little small, because we want some space, backyard in front, backyard, and we want some, like, I don't know, a space for our daughter. So, and the thing is that
the location is very important for you, rather than how big the house should be.
The privacy, the space for our daughter and her pets, because we have pets, animals. She has animals. So, and here in Costa Rica, at least now it is like popular that people want to live in condoms, because the amenities or the things like. But in my case, I'm regretful about living in this place. I'm grateful with God, but I don't like to live with that. Just I like privacy.
I see.
So, yeah,
I got you. I got you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk to Mr. Enes about this question. What about Turkish mentality? If people can.
It comes from our culture. Turkish people likes shiny and large homes, large kitchens, large children room, large bathrooms, and actually the wedding works can be difficult if you don't have money or car or house, because you have to persuade bride's family, you know, dad or mommy, and it's really difficult. And Turkish people likes to be gathered with their relatives, you know, uncles, aunts, dads, and it needs large homes.
Fantastic. Exactly. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, now let's talk to Ms. Venera about this very question. What about Russian mentality among, I mean, Russian citizens mentality?
Well, well, if people can afford to buy a house, of course, they're not going to buy a shabby house. They're going to buy spacious, and not enormous. I don't know what enormous. Well,
yes,
a relatively big house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, relatively big house, and
so you mean that people prefer bigger houses rather than a smaller or maybe
well, if they can afford it, yes. I think they think big, even when it comes to houses.
I see. So
Buying
big,
house.
everything should be big. I got you.
Yeah. Well, for different reasons. Some people probably buy it for showing off.
Mostly.
I don't know if mostly,
Okay.
but some people just want, well, just feel comfortable that they could afford it, that this is their house, this is something that belongs to them. Maybe they feel more secure, safe, who knows?
Yeah, of course, a nice point that you mentioned. Thank you. And what about Mr. Mohammed about this very question? What about Moroccan mentality?
Yeah, okay. I think if you ask anyone if he prefers living in big houses or smaller houses, I think he would prefer big houses.
Big house.
And here in Morocco, we have a certain inequality because we find that few people living in big houses and a lot of people living in small houses. And I think this is due to the problems I have already stated, like social and economic problems. But for the majority here, those who can't afford buying a house and living on their own, be it big or small, they live with their families, and this creates the same problem that we have a house, but a great number of people living in that house. I think, in my point of view, even if we are few, living in big houses is preferable, because when you live in a big house, at least when we have family persons come in, and you can accommodate them and they can be comfortable, and that's good for children, good for the members of the family to feel at ease. But as we have problems, that this is a dream that's so difficult to achieve for the majority of people here in Morocco. But
everywhere,
generally speaking,
everywhere, not just in Morocco. Yeah, that is really a challenging thing. Okay, if you may understand, I mean, why I asked this question, because I wanted to ask another one. And the next question is, which one would you prefer? To buy a bigger house, a big house, or if you cannot buy a big house, rather than buying a small house, you prefer to rent a house? Do you understand my point? You have two options. To buy a big house if you can't, although you can buy a smaller house, you don't. You prefer to rent in a bigger house, actually. What is your mentality about that? Which one would you choose? Which one would you prefer? Talking to Ms. Kari.
Sorry, I couldn't understand the point.
You couldn't understand the point. We have two options, A and B. A says, I have money, I can afford buying a big house because I want a big house and I can do it and I buy it. Or number two, you don't have that much money to buy, but you have enough money to buy a smaller house, really small house, or of course you have that money, but you say no, because I want big house, I prefer to rent.
In my case, if I had the money, I prefer to buy the house.
But you
because
cannot buy a big house. With your money, you can only afford a small house.
even the house is small, I prefer to buy it because at the end the house is gonna be mine, and because I can do whatever I want with my house.
Yeah.
And just if I in the future, in the near future or whatever, I have the money just to build some other spaces, I can make my house bigger. So I preferring most of the cases, well, for sure, to buy the house, even if the house is smaller.
Smaller than, okay, cool. Lovely answer. What about Enes? What about you personally?
Actually, I choose a small house rather than a big house or rental because home sweet home. Actually, you can live a rental house, but it's basically not your house. It has an owner, and if you have your house, your own house, you can make editings in your house or rooms and whatever you want. Paying credits, after pay credits, it's like free. You don't have to pay rent.
Yeah. You don't have to be worried about something else like money or I don't know, payments or whatever. Yeah, totally right, and it makes sense. What about Ms. Venera about this very question?
Well, there is no option for me because I don't understand why you need to rent a big house if you can afford a small house. It's just to brag, to show off again.
I mean, that is a challenging question that I ask, because as all of us know, of course, we talked about it. Normally, people want to own a bigger house. I mean, big houses. Okay, that's why I am asking. That's why I want to ask a challenging question. So, which one would you go for?
Well, again, there is no option. Of course, I would buy a small house. I don't need a big house, especially for myself, especially if I can afford to buy it. So yes, why do I need a huge house just for myself on temporary basis?
Yeah, I see. So you would go for buying a smaller house as you can
smaller
afford.
Even if tiny house, doesn't matter. This is my house that belongs to me, so this is my home. I can relax there. Home sweet home, as I said.
All right, thank you. And what about Mr. Mohammad, about the same very question?
And I will be the fifth one to confirm to buy a small house, because if I have some money and I can't afford buying a big house, but still I can buy a small house. So why not buying a small house, then saving money, because renting is so expensive. Then I will collect some money. In the future, I can buy bigger houses. Yes.
I understand. Yeah, that is really lovely to hear all of your points, guys. If you want to add something else, you can easily say that and add to these statements. We have a couple of minutes left. And yeah, I mean, my questions, I'm done with the questions. If you want to add something, we can wrap it up, and slowly but surely, we can finish today's meeting. What about starting with Ms. Kari? Yeah.
No, just to say thank you. This is well, I haven't been here lately, but I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Really, thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight or this evening. Here is evening right now, almost night. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, night. Let's say. And
what about
yeah.
you? I'm sorry for interrupting you. What about you? Which one would you prefer?
I should
buy a small house or to rent a huge house?
Of course. I mean, I try to do in a way that I can buy. I mean, I have to confirm what you said. No other choices. No other choice, actually. So if I can afford a house, even if it is small, I would definitely buy that rather than pay, not just pay, waste my money and everything somewhere else. Why should I rent it? I'm not a man of, show off or some other stuff. Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
we see eye to eye. Great.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We have a common ground, common points with everybody almost. But some people say no. Big house should be big house, no matter it's mine or it is rented. They don't care. Yeah, there are some people like with this mentality, which is okay. I mean, we are not here to judge people. Everybody has his or her own life, and they are the director of their own life. As long as they are harmless, innocuous, or harmless, so that's okay. I mean, yeah, we are not judging people. At least I am not judging people. Yeah, thank you for this question. Yeah, okay. I mean, my pleasure. The point is, I mean, I have to say thank you for being here tonight. Of course, without people, we cannot do the meetings. And hopefully I do this every week, although it is short. I try to continuously do it rather than do a big meeting with a couple of hours, then disappear for a month, then come back later. So I try to do it regularly, like a sort of habitual way. That's why, of course, it's difficult, but yeah, I try to do my best. Yeah, thank you. What about Mr. Enes, about this, the final words that you want to add or say?
No, I'm so glad to be here, and I saw you again.
Yeah.
And, I thank for all the participants.
Amazing. I have to thank you for being here. Of course, it was lovely to see you again after, I don't know, a couple of months. Last time we were in the classroom with masks, right?
Yeah, August.
Yeah, in August. Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but you weren't wearing mask.
You
I am
revealed the
wearing
secret.
I am wearing the face shield actually.
Yeah.
As long as you are getting your vaccination for 2 times, that is okay. After a month, you can remove your mask officially. But of course, based on Turkish regulation, you cannot remove your mask. And basically, I try to, pay attention to the social distancing and this kind of stuff, because I cannot speak with mask. That's my problem. Yeah.
That's hard. I'm going to school for 7 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And I have to wear my mask all day, entire school, and it makes me really feel sick. My ears and my nose.
That is true. That is normal. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Enes. And let's talk to Ms. Venera about, the final words. We have almost a minute.
Well, I just want to say thank you. I do hope this is my first meeting with advanced students here.
Yeah, hopefully.
So I do hope, I'm looking forward to the next meeting, and I hope it's going to be on
Saturday at 9 p.m.
Weekly basis, right?
Hopefully.
So what I wanted to say, just thank you so much. I derive a lot of pleasure from our meetings.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here. And what about Mr. Mohammad? Any sort of sentences, comments, whatever?
Me too. I would like to thank you, dear teacher, for your great efforts to organize such interesting meetings.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here, man.
And also like to thank all the participants for the discussions. And what I want to say as the final word, let's focus on.
Yes, I mean, you have internet problem, unfortunately. Your voice is not clear. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. It wasn't clear enough, your last sentences, but anyway, thank you very much, guys. It was lovely, a kind of lovely meeting. Hope to see you next time. Take care of yourselves.